cancer, heart disease, stroke, lung disease, diabetes, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, chronic bronchitis, tuberculosis, certain eye diseases, and problems with the immune system. Smoking kills. And smoking looks cool. While smoking is an unhealthy habit, there's something about it that automatically makes a person feel and or be perceived as cool. Why is that? Well, what is cool? What do humans find cool? Am I cool? Urban Dictionary will tell you cool is being yourself and not caring how other people view you. Self-assured confidence. This, of course, is just an opinion of cool. Nick's 2810 wrote it. Cool, like beauty, is in the eye of the beholder. Your mum might think you're cool. I mean, how couldn't she? You're her special little boy. Or the kids at school might call you loser and gay while shoving you into a locker and giving you a wedgie. Two things that definitely happen in real life reality. It's not all black and white. It depends on the audience. A professor at the University of Arizona set out to scientifically determine what makes something cool. He may have been struggling with those prior issues at school I had just mentioned. Anyway, he was desperate and he went on this study. The results revealed that humans have always been enamored with the rebellious. But this is challenging to achieve because it also has to be appropriate. A cannibal and a murderer are rebellious, but we do not find them cool. They are diverging so far from norms that everybody agrees to follow. So, if you want to be perceived as cool and not psychotic, these studies would suggest you stray from norms that are considered unnecessary or repressive, and stray only slightly. Smoking fits all of that perfectly. The interesting thing is that within the last decade or so, smoking stopped being cool. In real life, people will no longer find you cool or rebellious if you smoke in real life, and a lot of the times it could actually have the opposite effect. Whether that's because of the side effects and how they've all been magnified, or if that's just because modern society don't find the smell and things adjacent to that cool anymore, I'm not sure. But why are people still finding things cool on the big screen that they no longer find attractive anymore in real life? I suppose the obvious answer being you get all the aesthetic with zero effects. Nostalgia could also be playing a role. In terms of viewer enjoyment, I don't think there's been a massive drop off, but in terms of how much smoking we see now on the big screen, there has been. Since the 70s, there have been a fairly consistent drop-off of smoking being used in films. We are being starved of cool smoking, so when we are delivered that sweet, sweet nectar, it feels all the more satisfying. I don't know. Back on the nostalgia, it could be we see a cool character smoking and it could be taking us back to when it was more prevalent in scenes with the likes of De Niro, Clint Eastwood, and John Wayne. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood massively backs this idea up, as the film set in 1969 Los Angeles plays on those tropes throughout, with Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt. With the already iconic and most recognizable scene being memed is this one, of Leonardo DiCaprio simply sitting down, watching TV, and smoking. Why does the act of smoking even look cool though? Like the physical act of it. I am almost embarrassed to admit this, out of fear I might get my head stuffed down the toilet while you flush. I sat down on the floor earlier and proceeded to watch multiple videos titled things like how to smoke and how to look cool smoking.
That's good.
And from watching these videos, you kind of find out what you already know. Maybe a slight squint in the eye, maybe slight raised eyebrows, a hand covering the lighter, slight hunch, almost seamless. But more than anything, it's the cigarette placed between your index and middle finger. Now, there are multiple ways you can hold it. In fact, there's a whole psychology on it, but that one seems to be the most famous. It's hard to find out if the iconic way of holding a cigarette was made popular because of films, but it really wouldn't be out of the question. If you'd like to know which actor has been in the most films where they've had to smoke, then you can see those here. As you can see, most of these actors are from what we call the olden days due to the prominence of smoking back then, but there are a few outliers. That being said, this is a list of quantity and not quality. We want the coolest smokers, not the most frequent smokers. This complex article lists 25 movie characters that made smoking look cool. If we pick out those that came out within the last 20 years or so, we're given Denzel Washington in Training Day, Johnny Depp in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, Brad Pitt in Fight Club, Angelina Jolie in Girl Interrupted, Jamie Foxx in Django Unchained, Penelope Cruz in Ricky Cristina Barcelona, Ryan Gosling in A Place Beyond the Pines, Emma Stone in Gangster Squad, and Leonardo DiCaprio in Romeo and Juliet. Now, apart from all looking really cool smoking and being somebody's dream blunt rotation, what do all of these actors have in common? It's not that hard. I'll give you time. Time's up. They're all hot. Yep, they're all smoking hot. And you know, maybe that's just it in the modern day. It's not the smoking that's cool, but the smokers. People aren't addicted to the glamorization of tobacco and nicotine, but just glamorous people. Yeah, I think that's it.